Hello traders, Bash the Trader here. So in this video we're going to be looking at the Bitcoin price, right? And we're also going to be looking at something very amazing, something very spectacular, all right, which is called the Bitcoin halving, right? So, and what does the Bitcoin halving means for the Bitcoin price, right? So the Bitcoin halving usually occur every 4 years, right? And there's always a very significant increase in price, right? So in this video we're going to be talking about the Bitcoin price, and we're also going to be taking a look at the Ethereum price as well, right? So first of all, we're going to be understanding what the Bitcoin halving means. We're going to see the cycle on the price chart, and then we will then be able to predict future price movement for the Bitcoin, right? So we are likely to basically expect higher prices on the Bitcoin, right? And based on the trends and patterns and history of the Bitcoin halving, we would be able to understand the cycle of the Bitcoin price, right? So let's dive in. So the first thing I want to show you guys is this is the Bitcoin price chart, right? And the Bitcoin price is currently trading at $30,447, right? Just exactly as I've been predicting. So if you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel, or you're not a part of my Telegram community, make sure you do so right now. Click to subscribe to my YouTube channel, and also click to join my Telegram community, right? So that's where I usually give updates on the Bitcoin price, you know, the crypto world. Basically, I always send my analysis, you know, right in my Telegram channel, and also make YouTube videos about the Bitcoin price and the Ethereum price, basically. So first of all, let's go and look at what the Bitcoin halving means, right? We need to try to understand what the Bitcoin halving is, right? So this is Investopedia, right? So it says that one of the most pivotal events on the Bitcoin's blockchain is what is called a halving, right? And it is when the reward for mining is cut into half, right? As of 2023, network participants who validate transactions are awarded 6.25 bitcoins for each block successfully mined, right? The next halving is set to occur in April or May of 2024, when the block reward will fall to about 3.125, right? Over time, the goal is to have the block reward at zero, right? That's just what they're trying to say with the Bitcoin halving. So it's an event when the reward for mining Bitcoin transaction is cut into half, right? It's just a way to reduce the supply of the Bitcoin price, all right, of the Bitcoin, basically. So the Bitcoin last halved on May 11, 2022 in 2020, resulting in a block reward of 6.25 BTC right there. The final halving is expected to occur in 2140. Wow, that's a very long time. That's a lot of years. We're currently in 2022, and that's like, let me see, if we subtract 2023 from 2140, right? Basically that's like 100 years. 100 years. Hopefully, you know, we're still alive and all of that, you know, 100 years to come, you know, we're still alive. So halving reduce the rate at which new coins are created, and thus lower the available amount of new supply. Exactly, just what I said, right? Just to reduce, just so a way to reduce the supply of the Bitcoin. A Bitcoin halving event occurs when the reward for mining Bitcoin transaction is cut in half, right? So you know, if you want to learn about the Bitcoin halving, you can go to this URL and watch this particular video on how the Bitcoin halving works, right? So yeah, so that's just the basics of, you know, the Bitcoin halving. Yeah, after the network mines 210,000 blocks roughly every 4 years, the block reward given to Bitcoin miners for processing transaction is cut in half, right? This event is called halving because it cuts the rate at which new Bitcoins are released into circulation, right? That's just what it is, right? This reward system will continue until about 2140, when the proposed limit of 21 million coins is reached. Wow, that's crazy, man. That's crazy, because if you think about it, in the next 100 years, right, Bitcoin is going to be the future of money, honestly. You know, our current fiat currencies, right, that we're currently using and spending, right, there's a lot of flaws attached to it, a lot of flaws. The financial system is not that strong. There's going to be a very massive failure, and that's going to affect how we spend money and how we accumulate wealth. So, and that's the reason why this is the right time to invest in Bitcoin, right? This is not a financial advice for action, it's just a recommendation. You should always do your research before investing into anything. Okay, so as I was saying, right, the Bitcoin price is expected to skyrocket over the next few years. That's the truth. And our financial system is going to fail. It's the reality, it's going to fail. And when that fails, right, the cryptocurrencies are going to be the future of money. Ethereum, Bitcoin, Litecoin, those are the three main cryptocurrencies in the world, right? And they are going to be the future of the money. So now is the best time. Not today, not tomorrow, not next tomorrow, not next week. Today is the best time for Bitcoin, right? So when did the Bitcoin halving happen, right? That is, when did it occur in the past, right? There have been 3 halvings as of 2023, right? We have the first one that started in November in 28th of November 2012, right? The halving was reduced to 25 Bitcoin from 50 Bitcoins to 25 Bitcoins. Then the next halving occurred in July 9 of 2016, right? And it was reduced to 12.5 Bitcoins, right? Then the most recent halving, right, which occurred in May 11, 2020, it was reduced to 6.25 Bitcoins, right? The rate was reduced, basically. So now, the one that is set to happen in the next 4 years, right, from 2020 to 2024, the rate is expected to reduce to 3.25 Bitcoins, basically. And the system is going to continue until about 2140. That's a very long time. Whenever I look at that number, I'm like, whoa, next 100 years, next and the Bitcoin is going to be the future of money. So hopefully, the next generation would be alive to experience the dynamics, the change in technology and all of that. So it's just absolutely insane, right? So what happens when there are no more Bitcoins left? It is often thought that in 2140 the last Bitcoin will be mined. However, if the reward is halved every 210 blocks, there will always be a mining reward, assuming the blockchain still exists at that time. The reward will just get smaller and smaller every time there's an halving if the practice continues. That's just it. The bottom line, right? Bitcoin halving cut the rate at which new Bitcoins are released into circulation in half. The reward system is expected to continue until the year 2140, when the proposed 21 million limit for Bitcoin is reached. In 2009, the reward for each block in the chain mined was about 50 Bitcoins. After the first halving, it became 25, and then 12.5, and then 6.25 Bitcoins per block, right? As of May 11, 2020. That was the last halving that occurred. So let's go and take a look at the price chart. But before we take a look at the price chart, I want us to look at some of the important fundamentals, right? Some of the important news that we have, right? So let's start with CNBC. So this was released a few days ago, right? April 12, 2023, right? So that's like 3 days ago. So Bitcoin is 1 year away from major technical events. History suggests the start of another bull run. Look at this keyword, the start of another bull run, because by the time we get to the price chart, we will be able to see how the technicals is in sync with the fundamentals. Basically, we'll be able to see the trend and pattern of the Bitcoin price, and then we will then be able to forecast future price for the Bitcoin, right? So let's look at some of the key point here, you can see Bitcoin is up 80% since the start of this year. Yeah, it's crazy, because if you look at it, you know, last year as at November 2020, November 2022, right? You know, I was looking at the Bitcoin price. You know, I've always been very or highly interested in the Bitcoin price, right? And I always send my analysis every single time I see a solid setup, right? You know, so I've been predicting the Bitcoin price right from when the Bitcoin was at $60,000, basically. You know, I knew that we had reached the top, you know, like we had reached the peak of price, and I knew there was going to be a supply, a massive supply. You know, I started to predict from January of 2020, right? If you haven't seen my previous video about Bitcoin, then you should go watch those videos, right? The link is there. Just click and watch. It's not that difficult to do, right? So now I've been making my predictions on the Bitcoin price, you know, and everything has been moving, right? The market has been moving just exactly as I predicted, right? Just exactly as I predicted. That's the key word. You know, my predictions are always top notch for cryptocurrencies, both Ethereum and Bitcoin, right? You know, so when we got to the very bottom last year, November of 2022, the Bitcoin was trading around $15,000 price level, you know, and I was watching for a very massive demand of price. I was waiting for the price, you know, and I was looking for price action at that point in time. And when I saw the price action was looking beautiful, I knew that the Bitcoin was ready to rise. I knew that the bulls are back, you know. I knew that the bull run is about to start. So I gave an advice, right? And I said, you know, you can purchase the Bitcoin at that price, 15,500 price level. You know, I made so I said so on my Telegram channel. You know, so if you're not a part of my Telegram community, make sure you click to join my Telegram community today. So you can see the Bitcoin halving, which occurs every 4 years, reduces reward for successfully mining new Bitcoin by 50%. The aim is to reduce the supply of Bitcoin over time. Before the last halving on May 11, 2020, the price of Bitcoin increased by 90% from the same day a year earlier, right? Halving isn't the only factor impacting price, but it's an important event for investors and core to the investment case for Bitcoin as a store of value with limited supply. Beautiful, right? So you can see it's just a year, and it's expected to occur in April or May 2024. So that's very massive, and that's going to affect the price of the Bitcoin, right? And by the time we get to the price chart, we'll then be able to see the prices we're looking at, right? We'll be able to see the overall prediction for the Bitcoin. So let's look at market. What is that? Is there anything interesting that we could see here? It's time to start locking in CDs now. We're not interested in that. Okay, let's just, you know, do a quick overview of what we have here. You know, the fundamentals are very important, right? So if you're trading cryptocurrencies, you need to keep abreast of the recent fundamentals. Basically, Elon Musk reportedly plans AI startup to rival ChatGPT maker OpenAI. Yeah, Elon Musk is a crazy guy, you know. Let's see what we have. Individual behind 3.4 billion Silk Road Bitcoin thefts sentenced to 1 year in prison. That's sick. Anything interesting here? Celsius reportedly prepping litigation against creditor for leaking. Nah. Crypto phishing attacks up by 40% in 1 year. Wow, that's sick. This is said by Kaspersky. You know, Kaspersky is an antivirus and an anti-malware program, online program. You know, it tracks recent scams and phishing and all of that. So this is crazy. 40% is crazy, bro. Russian cybersecurity and antivirus provider Kaspersky detected over 5 million crypto phishing attacks in the year. You know, with cryptocurrencies, there's been a lot of scam, there's been a lot of fish, and it's just sad. You know, that's why we need to be very careful with our presence on the internet. You know, you don't just click every crypto links that you see out there. No, don't. There's no point if it's not a legitimate crypto source. Especially, what they do is that they set up fake exchanges, crypto exchanges, and they force you to what? To come and say, okay, buy Bitcoin with this particular exchange. When you do that, you're basically leaking your information to all these attackers, right? All these scammers, right? And when they acquire your information, right, you're liable to what? To scam. That's it. They can take your credit card information, they can do all sort of crazy stuff, right? So you can see Russian cybersecurity and antivirus provider Kaspersky detected over 5 million crypto phishing attacks in the year. That's just insane. Then, when it comes to cryptocurrency related cyber attacks, bad actors have seemingly reduced the use of traditional financial trade like desktop and mobile banking malware, shifting their focus to phishing. So you have to be very, very careful. You need to be able to identify fake websites. You need to be able to identify communication channels, right? You need to be very, very careful, most especially on Telegram. Don't just random people will just message you. Guess what? Those messages coming from random people, they are bots. They are bots set up by scammers. So when you click on the link they send you, you're going to be trapped, right? Your information is going to be leaked to the scammers, and then they take your money. So you can see a typical phishing attacks involving reaching out to investors through fake websites and communication channel that mimic the official companies. You can see users are then programmed to share personal information such as private keys, which ultimately provides attackers unwarranted access to crypto wallets and assets. You see what we're talking about here. So that's insane. It's an alert. So let's just see, is there anything else interesting on Cointelegraph? All right, I don't think there's anything else. Let's look at okay. Let's look at let me see, futurism. Is there anything here? Nothing really, to be honest. Let's look at Coindex. Is there anything here? Yeah, this is beautiful. You can see Bitcoin and Ether, right, turned upward in a busy week of Ethereum and inflation, right? There was a Shanghai upgrade that occurred on Ethereum, and there was a massive increase on the Ethereum price. If you're not a part of my crypto community, join my crypto community, bash the trader _crypto on Telegram, right? I sent a free trade idea in my community, and boom, we were able to catch the big move. A lot of people were looking at supply rather than demand for the Shanghai upgrade, and I was like looking at the internet. I was looking at some blogs where people were like, yeah, there's gonna be a little bit of supply before the demand. There wasn't even any supply. Ethereum just literally shot to the moon, bro. There wasn't any supply. Early yesterday morning, Ethereum did about 100 pips, in just 1 minute, bro. That was a massive liquidation right there. Ether has risen more than 9% since the Ethereum Shanghai upgrade, which held center stage in crypto market for much of the week. Bitcoin held fast above $30,000 right there. Dogecoin surges 5.8% as traders anticipate Elon Musk's next move. Yeah, this Dogecoin, I've been looking at it. I think it's something interesting to look at, but I'm not considering it yet. Because most of these altcoins, they just trend for just a short period of time, and guess what? They just die. Like, they literally go back to zero. That's what happened to FTT of FTX and some other ones like that. They just crash. Like that. So I don't really believe in altcoins for the long term, right? They are not that strong. So let's look at this closely. I'm going to open a new tab here. Let's look at what we have. So in recent economic report, inflation was lower than expected, right? And jobless claims were higher than expected. The Fed may be open for such signs as reasons to justify not raising interest rates again when the Federal Open Market Committee (FOMC) next meets in May. That's interesting. So this is Ether, this is Ethereum, this is my favorite cryptocurrency, right? You can see crypto market biggest news was the completion of the Shanghai update, allowing its stakers to withdraw their ETH deposits, right? Ether has responded positively, increasing about 9% in price since the upgrade was completed. That was massive. That was sick. I caught the Ethereum price from 1700 price level here, and I caught it all the way here. That's about more than 300 pips right there. I took some entry at 1800, 1816 prices. I took some entries right there. I made profit. I caught all this move, and I'm still in the Ethereum price right there. Ethereum is something to look at for the long term, not for the short term. But if you're a day trader, you can go in day by day, make your profit and get out. Some altcoins that they push higher this week as well. ARB, yeah, I've been seeing this ARB altcoin, right? The native token for Ethereum layer 2 system, Arbitrum, yeah, led the way up 28% over the past 7 days. Solana also had some strong weeks. Even Litecoin too had some really big move right there. That's sick. That's sick. All right, so I think that's just what we have for the fundamentals, right? Let's do a quick check to see. All right, so that's what we have for the fundamentals. So let's go to the price chart now. This is where the interesting aspect comes in, right? So this is the Bitcoin price, right? The BTC USD, right? This is one of the strongest. This is not even one of the strongest. It's actually the strongest cryptocurrency in the world, right? The biggest, with the biggest, with the highest market cap, basically trillion. We're talking of trillions of dollars, right? So now let's look at the trend and history of the Bitcoin halving, right? The first halving occurred in November 2012, right? And look at what happened here. So I'm just going to zoom in so that we can see closely. You can see the price. So if you look at the trend, right, what we can see is that, gosh, I wish I had bought Bitcoin at $1. Honestly, I wish I had bought Bitcoin at $1. Man, that's just insane, bro. I wish. Whenever I go back in time and look at the Bitcoin price, I'm trying to see the trends and history in on the Bitcoin price. I always feel somehow that I did not buy Bitcoin at $1, and this is just 2012. That's like how many years ago? This is like when 2020. That's like 11 years ago or thereabouts. Yeah, 11 years ago, guys. 11 years ago, what was I doing? Right? I was just trying to make money and all of that. But although in 2013, right, I started seeing the news about Bitcoin. But in fact, I tried to purchase some Bitcoin then with some exchanges like that. I have some emails from 2020, from 2012 or 2014, there about 2013. I had some emails that I was trying to purchase some Bitcoin, but it was not successful. I could not, because I could not use my card to buy Bitcoin, because it was so hard to buy Bitcoin then. I was hearing about the Bitcoin. I had so much interest in it, but I could not even buy because my country did not support foreign transaction as at the time. It's just crazy when you live in a country where you can't even, where the technology is just so weak. So I could not even purchase Bitcoin at that time. So it was crazy. That was one of the reasons why I gave up on the Bitcoin right then. I had some email correspondence. In fact, I'm just gonna quickly check my email right there before we continue our analysis. So Bitcoin, let me see, what was the Bitcoin 2011 or something? I had some very sick correspondence. So I'm just gonna check just real quick just to confirm I just want to confirm. Yeah, in 2017 I opened the Coinbase account. You know, in 2017 I opened a Coinbase account. Yeah, I opened a Coinbase account. Yeah, I was just following some crypto exchanges as at the time, but I couldn't purchase any Bitcoin. But yeah, so let's move on, right? So that's just the past tense. So let's move on to the present tense, right? So now what we can see is that we had a very massive increase in price from $1, right? From when Bitcoin was $1 to about $1,236 basically, and that's a massive whooping 9,438.46%. Wow, that's solid in about 357 days. That's less, almost a year. 365 days make a year, almost a year, right? Almost a year, right? That's massive. 9,438%. And then there was a decline, there was a supply, right? You can see the decline. There was a supply, almost 90% supply, 85% decline on the Bitcoin price, right? The bull market started from 2012, when the halving, when we had the first halving, when the Bitcoin, the rate of the Bitcoin reduced from 50 to 25, right? You can see what happened after the halving, after the event. There was a massive bull run, and then we had what? We had the supply, the bear market, basically. You see how long the bear market lasted for? Lasted for about 623 days, right? It started from 2013, right, into 2015, bro. 2 years, 623 days, 623 days. In the Bitcoin reached its peak, its highest point, right, of 1,241 price, right? What was this price? Let me see. I just want to confirm the actual price of the peak. 1,242, right there. That's the peak. And then we had the supply. Price dropped from 1,242 all the way back here to 162. Oh my god, that's like 85%, 86% drop right there. That was insane. And then after the supply, then we had the next bull run, right? We have the next bull run right there. Check this out. The price started to increase in value. The Bitcoin price started to appreciate in value all the way to 781, right? That's like how many percent increase from that bear market? You can see 365% increase from the bear market. And then it had just a little tiny break here at this supply region, and then they pick up the demand and continue to fly heavily. Oh my goodness. This is 2017. Yeah, that's when the Bitcoin really gained momentum. I was trying to open Coinbase at this point, but it was not successful. I could not purchase the Bitcoin at that point in time. But yeah, if you look at this now, look at the bull market run, right? Look at the bull market run. Then in 2017 it was insane. The Bitcoin price rose from 500, right, all the way to 20,000, all the way. Let me even see the highest point of of price. Oh my goodness, all the way to 19,804. Damn. In 2017, if you had bought Bitcoin, and this was after the next halving, the second halving, basically, guys, you can see the importance of the halving, right? This is a cheat code, but this is a cheat code, you know. Every 4 years, there is always a massive bull run, based on the trend, based on history. History doesn't lie. History doesn't tell a lie. That's the truth, you know. And that's one thing about the financial market, you know. It is repetitive in nature, right? Something that happened yesterday can occur today. That's just how the financial market is, you know. And when it comes to cryptocurrencies like Bitcoin, Ethereum, Litecoin, Solana, you know, they move based on what? Previous data, previous transactions, right? And you can see the massive bull run. This is insane. This is about 4,105.53% increase in price. Damn, if you had bought Bitcoin from here, bro, you would be swimming in millions, thousands of dollars, bro. But yeah, we did not happen to participate on Bitcoin price at this point in time, right? So now if you look at this, we reached the top, right? 19,800, then we experienced what? Supply. That's exactly what happened here during the first halving. Now look at the second halving. The same thing is occurring. Supply after the massive bull run, right? Check this out. Let's see how many percent drop, how many percent change. We had about, let's say 83 points, right? Look at it here, 84.22%. That's the accurate value change in price, right? And then after that occurred, guess what? The same thing happened again, right? The same thing. Bull run started. Look at the cycle. It's a cycle. The bull market, the bear market, the bull market, the bear market, right? It's a cycle. Demand, supply, demand, supply, demand, supply, demand, supply, demand, supply, demand, supply. So now what we can see is that in 2019, let's see how long the bear market lasted before we look at the bull run that started. So the bear market lasted for about a year. The previous one lasted for 2 years. This lasted for a year, right? And then the bull market lasted for, let's say, 1 year and some months, basically 1 year and some months, right? Now check the next bull market, lasted for 500 days. We still had some bear market in here. We had some bear market in here. Now this is something to really take note of. The last Bitcoin halving, the last cycle from 2016 to 2020, we need to look at this closely, because this will determine the next cycle here that we have from 2020 to 2024. This is going to determine the next cycle. So if you look at it, right, if you look at, like, you know, looking at the overall perspective, what we can see is that we had a massive bull run here that stopped here, right? We would be thinking that, you know, this bull run is likely going to take the price higher like this, right, and break this all-time high, right? But it did not. We had the massive supply again that lasted for about how many days? Let's see. Lasted for 259 days. Now this is where we need to be very careful. We need to be wary of this, because this can occur again in 2023. This can occur again in 2023. We need to be very careful, because, you know, some people would think, oh yeah, the Bitcoin is about to what? Break all-time high. Then they grab all the buy stop orders, right? They grab all the buy stop orders, boom, slam down, take everybody out, liquidate every single person. Came back down to the lowest point where the Bitcoin started buying from, right? I'm just going to draw a rectangle here, right? And then boom, that was when they were now ready to what? To break the all-time high. You can see. So this is likely a very crazy bull trap right there. So I'm just gonna put it as bull trap. This is a massive bull trap right there. You can see that's a massive bull trap here, you know. So actually let me bring it here like this. That's a massive bull trap. Reduce the font right there. You can see right from there we had a massive run. Wow. Now look at the next run that occurred in from 2020, right? From the lockdown, from the period the lockdown started and all of that. Check this out. And that was after the beginning of the third halving, right? The third halving. Check this out. We had a whooping 695% increase. 695% from 8,000 to what? 69,000, right? From 8,000 to 69,000. Let's see. 68,997. That's insane. That's massive. That's massive. That's massive. Wow. So the Bitcoin rose from here, right? Rose from here all the way, and you can see how many days it took. It took 539 days, right, to complete that bull cycle. Now we then have the bear cycle occur. I knew that when we took out this high, I knew that yeah, there was going to be what, a massive supply, and then the Bitcoin started to liquidate a lot of people, you know, especially the new traders, you know, that were rushing to join the trend and all of that, and they got their portfolio liquidated by Bitcoin, basically, you know. And then people will say Bitcoin is wicked, they don't like crypto. Yeah, that's because you don't understand the dynamics, right? You should invest in knowledge before you even invest in anything, right? So you can see, let's see how many percent change we have. 77%, right? 77.57% change from the all-time high of 68,997, and then the Bitcoin price dropped all the way to what, 15,000, right? And this was when I was looking out for some huge buying, right? Some massive buying, and I said that yeah, I was going to place some orders from here. 15,500 price, right? And then the Bitcoin started to shoot to the moon, right? So you can see what's going on here. We had what, a massive demand of price. So yeah, so if we're going to be looking at the Bitcoin price based on what occurred here, right, in the last halving, what we'll be looking at is that this is likely to occur on the Bitcoin price, right? So let's say, okay, the Bitcoin started from here, right, then here, right, and then we expect that, you know, at least Bitcoin gets to, let's say, $40,000, you know, or the 38k mark, right? Between the 38k mark or the $40,000, there is likely going to be what, a bull